This is a wee film about a rail tour that I made with my dad in February 2023 for his 80th birthday. And it's about 30 odd years in the making. And the rail tour itself is one that I never ever thought would happen. So it's a wee walk down memory lane. So here's a wee bit of history. A couple of years ago I found this piece of film on YouTube. Yes, this is the sort of stuff I look at. This is Glasgow Queen Street in July 1988. There's nothing really spectacular here apart from, yep, that wee boy with the glasses is actually a 7-year-old me, and that's my dad Stuart. We were filmed by complete accident and we only appear for a few seconds. It looks like we're about to get on this train here to go home back to Falkirk. Why do I know this? Well, this train is one of a handful that worked in what was known as push-pull mode between Edinburgh and Glasgow throughout the 1980s. Not to get too technical, but this meant that in one direction the locomotive would pull the carriages, and then when it was going back in the opposite direction, yep, you've guessed it, the locomotive would be remotely controlled and push the train from what was now the back. All said and done, it was a pretty unique system, and one used nowhere else in Britain. At the time, the trains were the flagships of the ScotRail fleet. They appeared in fancy TV ads.
ScotRail Express. You'll even feel more comfortable with our fares.
All the locomotives had Scottish-centric names like St Andrew, Waverley and Greyfriars Bobby, and they all carried the castle emblem of the maintenance sheds they were based at, Haymarket. One locomotive was even named after the depot by Hagrid himself, Robbie Coltrane. Fascinating stuff, I know, but it is relevant. You see, for most of the 1980s, the locomotives were based at Edinburgh's Haymarket depot, the shed you can see just beside Murrayfield Stadium. And from 1973 until he retired in 2007, that's where my dad also worked. He was part of a group of fitters who maintained the locomotives, ensuring they stayed on the rails day in, day out for most of the decade. That's him, by the way, on the far right in the dark blue overalls in a photo that was taken in July 1986. And because it was the 1980s and health and safety wasn't so much of a thing, he used to take me on visits to the depot. So a lot of my memories growing up involve me clambering around diesel locomotives, including the ones which were used on the push-pull trains, which actually quite neatly gets me back to the rail tour. The locomotive in the video just so happens to be 47712 Lady Diana Spencer. What's relevant about that? Well, at the start of the 1990s, the push-pull trains were replaced by other kinds of trains, and that was that for about 25 years. Then in 2013 a group of engineers bought one of the last remaining push-pull locomotives still in operation, and it just so happened to be 47712. They then started the long process of restoring it to its 1980s heyday, including painting it back in its ScotRail livery and set about returning it to the main line. I actually took Dad to see it in the summer of 2018, and we were fortunate enough to get a wee cab ride up and down a short section of line. But anyway, fast forward 5 years and now 47712 is back running on the main line along with a set of original push-pull set coaches. An authentic Edinburgh-Glasgow push-pull set has been recreated for the first time in 33 years. So I think it's a pretty cool twist of fate that the loco in that video from 1988 is the exact same one that's doing the rail tour. Or maybe it's just me. The route of the tour would take us from Waverley across the Edinburgh-Glasgow corridor twice before heading north to Inverness. For extremely convoluted reasons I can't be bothered to go into here, we initially had to head south to Carlisle so we could actually board the train there. So are you looking forward to it?
Yes, indeed, of course I am. Yes, naturally.
Good, because I am.
It'll be to get an old acquaintance.
But first, how about a little refreshment? This is the most disgusting tea I've seen in my life. And of course, because it's us, we almost didn't even catch the train. We missed it coming in. That wee calamity aside, the tour organisers had gone out of their way to remind us, just in case we forgot, that this was a genuine 1980s push-pull set. They have made such a good job of this. It looks amazing. I never ever thought that we'd see that again at Waverley. So this is day 2. We're at Falkirk High just now. We're just about to go through to Edinburgh, and then we'll get the push-pull set through to Glasgow. Then we'll come back on ourselves, back to Edinburgh, and then we'll go back to Glasgow, and then Inverness, because that makes sense. This is where we used to stand and we would watch the trains, because I remember the local used to be at the end of the platform there, and when it was coming in you could actually see the brake blocks. They were glowing.
Yes, I know, yes, it's sparking.
So this is the first push-pull from Edinburgh to Glasgow in 33 years, isn't it?
Yes,
Good. So I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Back in the 1980s, the push-pull trains were the only ones in Scotland allowed to run at 100 miles per hour. On average, they worked 18-hour days, covered over 700 miles daily, and out of the thousands of locomotives on British Rail at the time, they were the most intensively used group in the entire country. And on the 25th of February 2023, for one day only, they were back. We're absolutely flying along.
Essential to have full power. You can never have the 3/4 power. It has to be full power.
I'm loving this. I actually didn't realise I would be this excited. It is absolutely ridiculous. I am literally 9 years old again. This is fantastic. So it was back to Glasgow for one final push. And then it was time to head north to Inverness. Did you think there would be so many people here?
No.
You quite surprised?
Yes, I'm very impressed.
Very good afternoon. We are arriving at Inverness. In the next few minutes we will reach our destination of Inverness.
Yesterday I was just struck by the amount of people that were there, and they're all appreciating something that was once just part of your ordinary working day, and I'm just wondering how that made you feel.
No, not at all bad, because they were really a very good engine to work on, and it's nice to see people appreciating them from this main vantage point, distance and time.
Does it make you feel proud to be part of the sort of the Haymarket legacy?
Yes.
Day 3 would see us heading east towards Aberdeen and then south to Glasgow. We're in Aberdeen. Full disclosure, in 1985 the push-pull trains started to run between Glasgow and Aberdeen, so I think that's why we're here. Last leg, next stop Glasgow. And then, just as soon as it began, we were on the approach to Glasgow, where for us the tour would end. 3 days, a few hundred miles and a lot of memories later, it was time to disembark. Everywhere we've been, there have been people on the platform looking at it. Did you ever think 30 years ago that they would be back?
No, I didn't really know. I didn't think I would do this anyway.